I used to enjoy a glass of something strong every evening. Just one. It was my way of winding down, especially after a long day. Maybe a bit of whiskey, maybe a glass of red. It felt like comfort in a cup. No big deal, right? But one night, things changed. I stood up to go to the kitchen, and the room spun, just for a moment. Next thing I knew, I was on the floor, confused and bruised. A visit to the doctor turned into a wake-up call. My blood pressure had dropped suddenly. They said it was the alcohol reacting with my medication. I'd been taking the same pill for years. But now, at my age, the rules had changed. And no one had told me. You see, what your body could handle at 40, even 50, is not what it can handle at 65, 70, or 80. And yet, no one talks about this. No one tells you that your liver doesn't break down alcohol the same way anymore, that your brain is more sensitive, that what used to be a relaxing drink might now be quietly damaging your memory, your sleep, your heart, and your independence. So let me ask you something. Have you noticed your sleep isn't as deep lately? Ever feel a little more forgetful, more off balance? Do you wake up with dry mouth, a foggy head, or pounding heart, even after just one drink? It might not be just age. It might be your drink. If you're like many seniors I've spoken to, you're still being told by magazines or even well-meaning friends that a little wine every night is good for you, or light beer is the safe choice. But today, I want to challenge that. Because the truth is, some of the most common drinks we enjoy after 60 are doing more harm than good. And what's worse, they're disguised as healthy, harmless, even heart-friendly. But they could be quietly raising your blood sugar, interfering with your medications, weakening your bones, and putting your brain at risk, all without you feeling it until it's too late. That's why in the next few minutes, I'm going to share the 4 most dangerous types of alcohol for people over 60, even if you've been drinking them for years. Why your favorite drink may be silently aging you faster, and not in a good way. And 4 better alternatives that let you keep the joy of social drinking, without the physical cost. Now, before we dive in, let me ask you to do one simple thing. If anything I've said so far feels familiar, if you've ever questioned whether that nightcap is still serving you, please drop a 1 in the comments below. It tells me you're here, and it helps others feel less alone in this journey too. And if you're watching this with a friend or partner, maybe pause for a moment and just ask, have you ever felt different after drinking lately? Because sometimes the first step isn't giving something up. It's becoming aware of what no longer serves you. You deserve clarity. You deserve restful sleep. You deserve to wake up feeling balanced and strong. And yes, you still deserve joy, celebration, and connection. We're not here to judge your choices. We're here to upgrade them. So stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll not only know which drinks are secretly hurting your health, you'll also discover gentler, wiser options that can still bring warmth, comfort, and even health benefits into your life. Ready? Let's take the first sip of awareness. You've probably heard it before. A little red wine is good for the heart. Light beer's not a problem. It's basically water. Grandpa drank whiskey every night and lived to 90. These aren't just harmless sayings. They're beliefs that have been passed down for generations, beliefs that shaped our habits, our choices, and sometimes our risks. But here's the truth that few are talking about. What was once healthy in your 40s may be harmful in your 70s. Yes, some studies in the past suggested that moderate drinking, like a glass of wine a day, could have heart benefits. But what most people don't realize is that these studies were based on younger, healthier adults, not seniors with complex medications, changing metabolisms, or fragile sleep cycles. Let me explain something important. After age 60, the body's ability to metabolize alcohol slows down dramatically. The liver, once a powerhouse filter, now works more slowly. The brain, once resilient, becomes more sensitive to disruptions in chemistry. And the gut, the root of your immune system and energy, becomes more reactive to what you put in it. Even your blood-brain barrier, which protects your brain from toxins, becomes more porous with age. That means more of the alcohol you drink ends up affecting your cognition, your mood, your balance. Still think that little drink is harmless? Well, studies published in The Lancet Public Health revealed something alarming. Seniors who drink moderately, just 1 or 2 drinks a day, have a 35% higher risk of cognitive decline than those who abstain. That means faster memory loss, reduced focus, and increased risk of dementia. And it doesn't stop there. Even small amounts of alcohol can raise blood pressure, especially in combination with common medications like beta blockers or diuretics. Weaken your bones, increasing risk of fractures if you fall. Interrupt deep sleep, making you feel tired, foggy, or irritable the next day. Cause blood sugar spikes, especially dangerous for those with diabetes or prediabetes. Trigger acid reflux, worsen inflammation, and irritate the bladder. And yet, so many health magazines, social conversations, and even some doctors still say, it's okay to have a drink, just don't overdo it. But here's the question they don't ask. What does overdo it mean at 70? Because what used to be moderation might now be too much. For example, a 5-ounce glass of wine for a 40-year-old man might take 2 to 3 hours to metabolize. But at 70, with slower liver function and lower muscle mass, that same drink lingers in the system much longer, affecting sleep, balance, even your heart rhythm. One beer used to make you relaxed. Now it might make you groggy. Then wake you at 3 a.m. with dry mouth and a racing heart. That one cocktail at dinner, it might interfere with your antidepressant, your blood thinner, or your diabetes meds. And you wouldn't even realize it until days later when the side effects start to stack up. Still think moderate drinking is harmless? Let me tell you something even more surprising. The majority of falls in seniors happen at home, and many of them occur after just 1 drink. Not because you're drunk, but because alcohol subtly lowers your blood pressure, slows your reflexes, and weakens your balance. One quick misstep, and the consequences could change your life. A fractured hip, a hospital stay, a loss of independence that could have been avoided. Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to help you see clearly. Because aging doesn't mean you have to give up everything you enjoy. But it does mean we need to be smarter about what we allow into our bodies, especially when it comes to what we drink. Alcohol isn't just a social habit, it's a chemical. And as we age, even small doses have bigger effects. Think of your body like a garden in late summer, beautiful, full of wisdom, but more sensitive to storms. You don't pour harsh chemicals on it anymore, right? You treat it gently, with intention, with love. So what if you did the same with your drinks? What if you chose something gentler, more aligned with your body's needs today, not 30 years ago? Because the truth is, the glass in your hand may no longer be a harmless reward. It may be quietly pulling you away from your clarity, your energy, your health. And the sooner we recognize that, the sooner we can choose better. No shame, no guilt, just wisdom, just change, just care. And the good news? You don't have to give up joy. You just have to find new ways to toast your life. Coming up next, I'll share a powerful real-life story. A man who thought he was doing everything right, until one night changed everything. And how one simple shift in his drinking habits gave him back energy, balance, and peace of mind. You won't want to miss it. His name is Harold McIntyre, a retired school principal, 68 years old. The kind of man who ironed his shirts even after retirement, who always had a wisecrack, a handshake, and a routine he rarely broke. Every evening at 7:30, like clockwork, Harold would pour himself a glass of whiskey, single malt, neat. One for the soul, he used to say. It was never about getting drunk. It was tradition. It was comfort. And for a while, it seemed harmless. But bodies speak, even when we're not listening. It started with little things, waking up groggier, forgetting why he'd walked into the kitchen, that strange feeling of floating when he stood up too fast. He brushed it off. Age, he'd say. He'd chuckle when his wife, Eleanor, suggested cutting back on the whiskey. She's just being dramatic, he told himself. Then one evening it happened. Harold stood up to get the mail from the porch and didn't come back. Eleanor found him minutes later, collapsed on the steps, conscious but disoriented. His face pale, his words slurred, his left hand trembling. The ER visit revealed what Harold never expected: a sharp drop in blood pressure, mild dehydration, liver enzyme levels above normal, and a serious interaction between his whiskey and the blood pressure medication he'd been prescribed 6 months earlier. The doctor, Dr. Singh, sat beside Harold that night, her tone calm but firm. "Mr. McIntyre," she said, "your body can't handle alcohol the same way it used to. What once was just a drink is now compromising your liver, your balance, and your brain." That night shook Harold in a way nothing else had. He wasn't afraid of death. He was afraid of losing himself, losing control, clarity, dignity. He thought about his brother, who had slipped into dementia in his 70s. He thought about his grandson, Jamie, who loved their evening walks and stories. And he thought, if I lose my balance again, I might not get back up next time. So he made a decision. He started with small changes. Instead of whiskey, he tried red wine, just a few ounces, with dinner. But even that disrupted his sleep. Then his daughter introduced him to kombucha. At first, he wrinkled his nose. Fermented tea? Sounds like something from a sci-fi movie. But it grew on him. He liked the fizz, the tang, the way it settled his stomach. And within 2 weeks, he noticed fewer nighttime bathroom trips, less brain fog in the morning, better digestion, and surprisingly, a calmer mood. He swapped his evening drink for a mocktail with fresh ginger, mint, and lemon balm. Sometimes he'd add a splash of sparkling water, a few frozen berries. It became his new ritual. Same glass, same chair, same quiet moment, but without the slow poison. Eleanor joined him. Their evenings changed, but not in the way he feared. They talked more, laughed more, remembered old songs, watched fewer reruns, and took more evening strolls. 6 months later, Harold's liver levels were back to normal. His blood pressure was stable. He'd lost 8 pounds, not from dieting, but simply from cutting out the daily alcohol. But the biggest shift? His confidence returned. He wasn't worried about falling anymore. He wasn't afraid of forgetting things. He felt clear, and he felt strong. One afternoon, sitting with his grandson on the porch, Jamie asked, "Grandpa, how come you don't drink that brown stuff anymore?" Harold smiled. "Well," he said, "I still drink something special, but now it helps me feel good the next day, too." Now, Harold shares his story whenever he can. Not to lecture, but to remind others, especially other men his age, that it's never too late to listen to your body, to make a different choice, to protect the years you've earned. He still raises a glass each evening, but now it's not for habit, it's for health. And when people ask him, "Don't you miss the real thing?" he answers, "This is the real thing. Clear mind, steady feet, deep sleep, laughing with my wife, remembering the names of all my grandkids. That's real. The drink was just a shortcut. This is the long game." Harold's story isn't unique. It's a reminder that aging well isn't about denying joy. It's about redefining it. And sometimes the simplest changes create the deepest freedom. Coming up next, the 4 most dangerous types of alcohol for seniors, what they are, why they're risky, and how to spot them on your shelf. You might be surprised which one is still recommended in health articles and doing the most damage to your brain and heart. Let's take a look now at the 4 most dangerous types of alcohol for seniors, not just based on theory, but on real effects we've seen in thousands of aging bodies, minds, and lives. Hard liquor, whiskey, vodka, rum. Too much, too fast, too dangerous. It hits quickly, burns smoothly, feels familiar. For decades, many seniors have ended their day with a small shot of whiskey or vodka. It's a ritual, a comfort, a pause. But here's what few realize. After age 65, the liver loses efficiency. Your body retains alcohol longer. Your central nervous system becomes more fragile. Your sense of balance is already more delicate. That neat shot you used to enjoy can now become a silent thief of sleep, of coordination, of memory. One fall from dizziness can cost you weeks of recovery, or worse, your independence. A sudden drop in blood pressure can trigger fainting. Interactions with common medications, like antihypertensives, sleep aids, or antidepressants, can lead to heart irregularities, confusion, even respiratory depression. Let's take Walter, 72. He loved his evening brandy. After taking a new sedative prescribed for anxiety, he began waking up groggy, dizzy, even hallucinating. The cause? A simple clash between alcohol and meds. When he quit the brandy, his clarity returned within days. Takeaway: hard liquor may feel neat, but in senior years, it's anything but safe. Corn sweet wines and wine coolers, a sugar trap in disguise. Sweet, gentle, easy to sip. For many, a glass of dessert wine or a wine cooler feels less threatening than a stiff drink. But behind the fruity aroma and festive bottle lies a hidden danger. Excess sugar spikes blood glucose, especially harmful for seniors with diabetes or prediabetes. Sulfites and additives trigger inflammation, headaches, and digestive issues. Acidity erodes enamel and worsens acid reflux, already common in older adults. Take Lucille, 67. She switched from cocktails to Moscato wine, thinking it was healthier. Within months, her blood sugar became unstable, her dentist warned of enamel loss, and she developed nighttime reflux. A switch to Herbal Spritzers changed everything. Takeaway: sweet wines may soothe the tongue, but they stress the gut, the teeth, the blood sugar, and over time, your heart. Beer, especially light beer. Not as light as you think. There's a myth that beer, especially light beer, is a safer choice. Lower alcohol, easy to handle, socially acceptable. But here's what's not on the label. High in purines, which trigger gout, full of starches and hidden sugars that spike blood glucose, acts as a diuretic, worsening dehydration, sleep disruption, and nighttime urination. Joseph, 70, had one light beer a night for 10 years. Then came joint pain, swelling in the foot, and relentless urination at night. Diagnosis: gout and mild kidney stress. When he quit beer and added more water and herbal drinks, he slept through the night for the first time in years. Takeaway: beer might feel casual, even nostalgic. But for many seniors, it slowly erodes energy, clarity, and joint health. Cocktails and mixed drinks, a toxic mix of sugar and spirits. They're festive, colorful, perfect for holidays or a night out. But cocktails often pack the worst of both worlds. High alcohol from hard liquor, high sugar from syrups, sodas, fruit juices, hidden additives that stress the liver and inflame the body. And worse? Their sweetness masks the strength, making it easy to overdrink without realizing. A risky combo when you're managing medications or blood pressure. Dorothy, 69, loved pina coladas on cruise trips. She noticed a pattern: irritability, low energy, and brain fog the day after. Once she learned how cocktails interact with her thyroid medication, she switched to a mocktail with coconut water and fresh pineapple. No more crashes. Takeaway: the umbrella and garnish may say party, but inside, your body reads hazard. These aren't scare tactics. These are real stories from people just like you. People who thought one drink wouldn't hurt. And sometimes it didn't, not at first. But over time, the cost added up. The truth is, aging changes the rules, and the drinks we used to enjoy might now be speeding up fatigue, falls, fog, and even cognitive decline. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up everything. In the next section, I'll show you 4 better, safer, more joyful alternatives, drinks that support your health, your energy, and your clarity, without taking anything away from the celebration. Because at this stage of life, it's not about drinking more, it's about drinking wiser. Now that we've looked at the drinks that may be working against your health, let's explore 4 gentler, wiser alternatives. These aren't just substitutions. They're upgrades, designed to honor your age, your body, and your joy. Red wine. In moderation, a touch of heart-friendly tradition. Not all alcohol is harmful in every context. Among the many options, red wine, when consumed in moderation, can still offer certain benefits, especially when paired with food and enjoyed slowly. What makes red wine different? Rich in resveratrol, a powerful antioxidant, supports heart health by improving circulation and raising HDL, good cholesterol, contains polyphenols that may protect against cognitive decline. But the key is portion and frequency. Think, a 5-ounce glass, a few times per week. With a meal, not on an empty stomach, never right before bed, to avoid sleep disruption. Elizabeth, 71, was advised by her doctor to limit alcohol due to her blood pressure. Instead of giving up wine completely, she switched to high-quality organic red wine, low in sulfites, and only sipped it on Sundays with dinner. Result? Her energy improved, her sleep deepened, and her blood pressure stabilized. Tip: choose red wines like Pinot Noir or Merlot, and always check for low-sulfite labels. Low-ABV Spritzers, the elegant dilution. Want to keep the ritual of having a drink without the side effects? Try a spritzer, a half glass of wine mixed with sparkling water, a slice of lemon or orange, and a few berries. The result? Lighter alcohol load, built-in hydration, refreshing and easy on the liver. Spritzers help slow down your drinking pace, avoid overconsumption, and give the visual and social feel of a cocktail without the fog. Thomas, 74, missed the social element of wine nights with friends. By switching to spritzers, he found he could still join the fun, feel part of the moment, and wake up the next day with clarity and comfort. Tip: use a tall glass, add ice, and infuse it with fresh herbs like mint or basil. Make it a moment, not just a drink. The Kombucha, the gut-friendly tonic. If you're looking for something fizzy, flavorful, and health-boosting, look no further than kombucha, a fermented tea rich in probiotics, B vitamins, and organic acids. How it helps: supports digestive health and nutrient absorption. May enhance mood by nurturing the gut-brain connection, naturally low in sugar when choosing the right brands, feels like a grown-up drink without the alcohol. Ruth, 68, had struggled with bloating and constipation. She was skeptical at first, but started drinking half a glass of kombucha with lunch each day. Within 2 weeks, she noticed more regular digestion, improved energy, and even clearer skin. Tip: choose low-sugar or alcohol-free versions. Always refrigerate, and if you're new to it, start small. Half a cup is plenty. Beakered Herbal Mocktails, joy without the side effects. Want the look and feel of a cocktail, but none of the health risks? Try a mocktail infused with herbal adaptogens, natural plants that help the body manage stress, inflammation, and fatigue. Examples of ingredients: ashwagandha supports calm and resilience, lemon balm promotes relaxation, ginger aids digestion and warms the body. Holy basil balances cortisol, stress hormone. Lavender or chamomile soothes nerves. Mocktails give you the freedom to celebrate without compromise. They taste delicious, look beautiful, and help you feel better, not worse, after drinking them. Frank and Julia, 70 and 68, now host monthly mocktail nights with their neighbors. Using sparkling water, crushed berries, mint, and herbal tinctures, they've created a new tradition, one filled with laughter, clarity, and shared stories. No one misses the alcohol. Tip: keep a few go-to ingredients in your kitchen, like lemon, mint, and ginger. Build a mocktail moment, just like you would a cocktail. These alternatives don't ask you to give up joy. They invite you to reclaim it, on your own terms, in a way your body will thank you for. Because it's not about saying no to everything. It's about saying yes to the things that support you now. Coming up next, a short but powerful summary of everything we've covered, and an invitation to celebrate this next chapter of life with new energy, presence, and pride. So here we are. We've walked through the quiet dangers, the myths we've believed, the simple stories that became habits, and the wiser choices waiting on the other side of awareness. Growing older doesn't mean giving up the things you love. It means learning which of them still love you back. The drinks we once toasted with may have meant comfort, companionship, even identity. But if they now leave us dizzy, restless, or foggy, maybe it's time for something new. Maybe joy isn't in the alcohol. Maybe it's in the ritual. The sound of a glass clinking. The feeling of being included. The warmth of conversation. The sweetness of presence. And you can still have all of that, without the confusion, without the side effects, without the slow, silent cost. You see, every sip is a decision to honor your clarity, to protect your sleep, to steady your steps, to stay connected, sharp and strong for the moments and the people that matter most. And those choices, they don't need to be grand. They start with just one change, one glass, one gentle shift. So today, I invite you to look at your evening drink and ask, is this still serving me? If not, you have options. Options that nourish, that energize, that calm, that connect. Maybe it's a half glass of red wine with dinner. Maybe it's a sparkling spritzer on the porch. Maybe it's a ginger lavender mocktail in your favorite glass. Or maybe it's kombucha in a mason jar with a slice of lemon and a sprig of mint. Whatever it is, let it be something that helps you wake up better tomorrow. Let it be something that makes your body feel respected, not depleted. Because the truth is, aging well isn't about perfection. It's about intention. And that intention, your care, your presence, will ripple into how you move, how you feel, how you remember, and how you love. You've earned the right to live these years clear-minded, steady, and whole. So go ahead, raise a glass, not to the past, but to the future you're choosing to protect, to the wisdom that whispers, this moment matters, and so do I. And before you go, comment below with one thing you're planning to change or try. A new drink, a new ritual, a new mindset. Let's support each other on this journey. Let's toast to living fully, wisely, and well. If this message spoke to you, please consider sharing it with someone you care about, because just one small change might be the thing that changes everything. Thank you for being here. And here's to you, exactly as you are, and better every day.